Tkachuk and scores!
Nice Shabbat curled and drives and scores!
And the Senators win it.
Five apart, another chance, Matthews scores! Great Matthews! Oh, and got it! Green! Oh, Green again! Scores!
Welcome to Sens Talk. My name is Brandon, and I'm your host. Now, before we get started, please follow me on Twitter at @SensTalk_ and on Instagram at Sens Talk. Now, before we get started, a few things. Firstly, in the link in the description below, you can order your Sens Talk shotgun tool. We have sold out 3 times, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for the support, and if you would like to buy a cool piece of Sens Talk merchandise, you can do so in the link in the description below. We would greatly appreciate it. Now, as well, you can go to SeatGeek.com and use the promo code SensTalk, save $20 off your first purchase. It's a great discount for your first purchase, so be sure to use that. Now, tonight, Ottawa took on the Toronto Maple Leafs in back-to-back nights. This is the third meeting between these two teams in 4 days. So, big game coming up. So, for this game, there are a few transactions. So, let me talk to you about them. Firstly, Artem Anisimov, he was sent to the Uber/taxi squad, whatever the hell you want to call it. He's in the taxi squad. Matthew Pekka called up. He made his season debut tonight. Now, for Toronto, starting goaltender for them was Michael Hutchinson. Freddie Anderson gets a break, while Marcus Hogberg starts for the Ottawa Senators, but he did not make it past 10 minutes. We'll talk about why he didn't make it past 10 minutes in a moment. Let's get to the game number 19 lineup. It is as follows. The first line, Brady Tkachuk with Josh Norris and Connor Brown. The second line, Nick Paul with Colin White and Evgeny Dadonov. Third line, Tim Stützle. Jimmy's a stud, and he was great in this first period with Derek Stepan and Drake Batherson. The fourth line, Matthew Pekka, Chris Turney, Austin Watson. Now, I don't know for sure if, by the way, Leafs just scored. It's actually 4-1 now. We're going to talk about this game, but I'm recording this as the second period just started. It's 4-1 Toronto. That sucks. But anyways, that got me. Okay. So, I would love to see Turney on the third line instead of Derek Stepan. I've mentioned this, and I got to keep on mentioning this. Turney, I think, gives Stützle and Batherson great, offensive IQ there. I think Stepan has the IQ, but he doesn't have the speed, so he can't really keep up with those two players. Now, the defense is Riley, Zaitsev, Volanin, Zub, Brandstrom, Goodbranson. Now, you're probably wondering, Brandon, where's Tom Chabot? Well, he's in the press box. He's injured, was a late scratch for tonight's game with an upper body injury. There is no timetable for his return. But considering it was a last-minute scratch, I wouldn't assume it's too serious, and I would expect him back in the next couple of games. But once again, that's pure speculation. We shall see. Now, starting in net was Marcus Hogberg. Like I just said, he won't last more than 10 minutes. We'll talk about that in a second. So Matt Murray has taken over the net. He'll be in the net for the last 50 minutes of this game. But let's get to the first period of play where 10 minutes in, Matthews on the power play rips it 5-hole on Marcus Hogberg, a goal that he probably wants back. The Leafs lead 1-0. Now listen. Many people are crapping on Hogberg for this goal, but come on. At the end of the day, you got to stop taking these penalties, all right? Against a team like Toronto, you can't take these stupid penalties. So listen. Hogberg should have stopped that one, but at the end of the day, stay out of the damn box. Now, moments later, Marcus Hogberg is bumped into, and he appears to be injured right away, so that's not good news, and he's out. And now, I just got information from the Senators communication as a whole, like the Sens communication department. They just told me that, well, they didn't just tell me, they told all Sens fans that Marcus Hogberg will not return to tonight's game in Toronto after sustaining a lower body injury, which is tough news. I hope he's okay. Obviously, you never wish anything bad on a human being. That's terrible. And hopefully he returns soon. He was playing well up until that moment, so hopefully he gets back soon. Anyways, so Murray's in. A few minutes after Matt Murray's put into the game, Joe Thornton tips home a shot from Jake Muzzin to make it 2-0 for Toronto. And what's ironic here is Joe Thornton, last game tipped in like two goals, I believe, but both were waved off. High stick. One was pushing the pad into the net. Kind of ironic. But you know what? Joe Thornton, 2-0 Leafs. But Tim Stützle responds with a wicked shot, makes it a 2-1 game. He roofs it, and the Senators cut the lead to 2-1, and the Senators look like they're back in it. But moments later, 2 minutes exactly, Austin Matthews on a nice pass from Marner makes it 3-1 Toronto. And as I say that, Marner just made it 5-1 Toronto as I'm recording this in the second period of play. So I will give you my first period thoughts, and then we're going to hopefully talk in the second period about the beginning of the comeback for the Ottawa Senators. It's 5-1. Cue the comeback. But before we get to that, first period thoughts. Leafs capitalizing on their chances. They're capitalizing early on in the second period too. The Senators clearly, they're down 5-1. They clearly need to tighten up defensively. But listen, they're down 5-1. We've been here before. It's the most dangerous lead in hockey. Let's see what happens. We'll see you after the second period of play. All right, welcome back. It is the second period intermission. The Senators are currently down 6-2. So I'm trying out a new thing. After every single game, I may start doing this, to be quite honest, where I'm going to ask you on Twitter. By the way, a quick little plug, @Sens__ is my Twitter. After every single game, I'm probably going to answer some of your questions, some of my Twitter follower questions. Let me know in the comment section below right now if you like this. You can be featured in the upcoming Sens Talk video, so be sure to follow us on Twitter, and we'll hopefully one day we'll be able to answer one of your questions. But I think moving forward, I'm going to do sort of this segment every single video. But comment below, let me know what you think. Besides that, let's get to the first question from Michael Czar. How soon will Decord get a game, and do you think the Sens will put Pinto and Sanderson in as soon as their college seasons are over? Well, I'll start with Joey Decord. With Marcus Hogberg being injured in tonight's game, I would say it's very likely within the next 2 to 3 games, Joey Decord gets a start, especially because they wanted Joey Decord to even get minutes to begin with in this 3-game series versus Toronto, because they weren't anticipating Matt Murray to return. Now with Hogberg injured, Joey Decord should get a start within the next 3 games, so stay tuned for that. That's my prediction. Now the second part, about Pinto and Sanderson. Sanderson, I think, will stay in North Dakota, focus on his studies and development. I don't think he will go to AHL or anything. But Pinto, I think he will take a route like Colin White did a few years ago, where he signed an ATO, an amateur tryout agreement with the Belleville Senators. And this way he doesn't kill a year off his entry-level deal if he signs one. And on top of that, it allows him to get some professional development. So I think he will follow the Colin White path once his career in the NCAA is done at the end of this season. If Belleville is still playing, I don't know what the situation will be in a few months, but Pinto I can see playing in Belleville this year. Sanderson, I think he may want to stay in UND. Now the next question comes in from Cole. What do you think the Sens can do to change the power play and make it more effective? Simple answer: stop the drop back pass. Very simple. The drop back is terrible. All right, and listen. Every single team in the NHL does it, but when you do it every single power play, it becomes predictable. And when something's predictable, it's not going to be a successful attempt. So for me, it's about moving your feet, pass the puck, create actual zone entries. Don't just dump it in. Create zone entries. I'm looking at a player like Shabbat. Utilize his skill, or a Brandstrom, or a Kachuk, or a Stü-Ottawa. Utilize their skill to enter the zone. Stop with the drop back. You just got to revamp the whole power play. It's trash. But it starts with moving your feet and creating passes that go forward and not backwards, okay? So thank you for the question, Cole. Now, Mike, why does everyone love Christian Wolanin but me? He sucks in my eyes. Well, listen, everyone loves him for a simple reason. We saw what he has been able to do when healthy and when fully, in game shape. COVID-19 caused a lot of players to miss a lot of time in the National Hockey League, like a Brady Tkachuk, Thomas Chabot. They missed like 10 months, all right? Christian Wolanin's coming off a big, major injury that kept him out for a whole season plus COVID. So he's been, for the last 2 years, practically, a year and a half, 2 years, Christian Wolanin hasn't played in a professional hockey game, and suddenly he's being thrown into the fray, one of the worst defensive teams in the National Hockey League. In my opinion, yes, he hasn't been the greatest at times, but I think Wolanin, with the circumstances that he's in, has been pretty impressive. And I don't know what his future is long term with the team, but I do want him to get more minutes with Ottawa this year to see what he can do. This is the perfect year to see what a player like Christian Wolanin can do. So let's see. But yeah, I love him. I know a lot of people do, but I can also understand why you don't like him. But I think it's important to keep in mind that he hasn't played in a very long time. So that definitely has an effect on his play. Now, Kenneth Saduku, by the way, shout out to you, buddy. I appreciate your support tonight. Everyone's support on Twitter tonight. Thank you. I love you all. But he asked, why is Stepan still here? Your question is as good as mine. After he had a newborn, he wants to be with his family. I completely understand it. This situation is going to be resolved just like the Mike Fisher situation a few years ago, like 6 to 10 years ago with Carrie Underwood in Nashville. Listen, family comes first, and hockey's a game. It's a fun game, of course. It's a hell of a game, but listen, family comes first. Totally understand why Derek Stepan wants to be with his wife, his family, and his newborn child. Totally understandable, and I would expect him to be traded sooner rather than later. Now, next question from Phipps. Shout out to you, Phipps. I see you in the comment section down below in the chat, in the Premier chat. But his question, what adjustments do you think DJ Smith should do to either make our defense better and allow less goals or to create more scoring chances? So essentially, get a guy like a Branson off the ice. Put a Wolanin, put a Brandstrom, put a Zub, put a Shabbat, put a Riley even. He can move the puck. And for the people that are about to comment, hey, Brandon, come on, we need some physicality in the back end. That's what Zub and Zaitsev are there for. All right, they're not exactly known for their transition game. They're big bodies. Those are your players that are going to get the hits. Kid Branson, I'm sorry, fine player, good veteran, good leader. Not better than the 6 I just mentioned. So if it was up to me, you put puck movers on the back end. If you got somebody that can move the puck, good things are going to happen. Scoring chances are going to happen because of the puck moving and the great flawless skating. So basically, my philosophy for a hockey team, it's sort of like what the Colorado Avalanche are doing. Puck movers, guys that can move their feet, move the puck. Not people that are just stagnant, who are pushing people to the side. I want people that can move the puck and move their feet. All right, Branson isn't that. Lannon, Brandstrom, etc. Those are the players that I would like to see on the back end. So those are the adjustments you need to make. Get puck movers on the blue line. Now, Colby Shearer. How to improve the power play? I just was asked this, but after this game, who do you think needs to step up if Shabbat is out for a couple games? So I answered the first part, but I already answered the first part, but I'll answer the second part, Colby. So essentially, what I would do if Shabbat's out for a couple games, I would keep the lineup as is. I would, there's not much you can do. You can't, who are you going to place Branson with? Coburn, Josh Brown? I wouldn't. So I'd keep the defense as is. Maybe, I don't know. It's a tough one. I probably put, you could try out Brandstrom and Wolanin both in the top 4. Push, Riley and Branson to the bottom 3rd. I don't know what you can do. It's a complicated question, to be honest, because chemistry plays a huge factor, and Sens almost just scored. But anyways, chemistry plays a huge factor into that. So I think it's too early to say. I'd rather Shabbat return, but if Shabbat's up for a couple games, the short answer would be give Wolanin and Brandstrom some top 4 minutes. But besides that, that is the last question. So let's get to the third period of play. Let's get to the third period of play. Hope you enjoyed that. All right, that's the end of the game. The Sens lose it 7-3 in a game where Ottawa didn't really look good, to be honest, and Toronto controlled throughout the entire game. Now, in this game, Ottawa had some positives. You had a Tim Stützle goal. You had a Drake Batherson goal. So there are some positives. And speaking of those two, let's get to the Sens Stock Star of the Night, voted by you, the fans. So it's currently 9:53. Sorry for the late upload, by the way. I had to deal with a few things on Twitter. You know what I'm talking about if you're on Twitter. But I've uploaded the poll at 9:34. It's now 9:53. So in 4th place with 2% of the vote, Connor Brown. He scored a goal tonight. By the way, 118 votes. Connor Brown with 2% of the vote. He scored a goal tonight. He has 3 points in his last 3 games. Listen, he has had a better go as of late, and I thought he had a good game, so he's the 4-star. Third, tied for second, it's between Matthew Pekka and Drake Batherson. I thought Pekka had a very good game, especially for a 4th liner coming up from a call-up. He impressed me, especially on a night where not many impressed me, so he was noticeable. And Drake Batherson had that goal. He had a decent game. And overall, Drake Batherson is finally, what's the word? He's starting to produce, so it's a positive. And the 1st star with 92% of the vote, ladies and gentlemen, he is overwhelmingly your Sens Stock Star of the Night. Jimmy Stu, Tim Stützle is your Sens Stock Star of the night. Now, the next Sens game is on February 21st at 7 p.m. Eastern Time versus the Montreal Canadiens. That will be on Sunday, so that's in a few days. I may upload a Let's Talk episode. We will see. But besides that, thank you all for watching. Comment below and let me know what you think. Besides that, thank you for watching. Please follow us on Twitter at @Senstalk_ and on Instagram at Senstalk. Be sure to like this video, share this video for cool stuff, and click the big red button down there and subscribe to us. And of course, turn the notification bell on so you get notified whenever we upload a new video. Besides that, thank you for watching. I love you all. Thank you all so much for the support, and I'll see you in the next one. Go Sens, go.